It's the 20th anniversary of 9/11, Saturday, September 11th, 2021. I am in the airport in Chicago, and I promise you, this airport's a lot fuller today than it was 20 years ago once the planes hit. Actually, it would have still been full 20 years ago right this minute, because it's not quite the time yet. I think we're about an hour before the actual the planes started hitting the towers. But nevertheless, I was just, as I'm flying back from Alaska, a really nice trip, I've been contemplating how my life has changed since 9/11. And I think we should all take some time to do that today. My life took a drastic turn on 9/11 because September 11, 2001, I was a stockbroker in Washington, D.C. and was having a hard time because the market was down. The market had crashed a little under a year earlier, and we were still working our way back from that. And I had already started writing, but when 9/11 happened, I guess I had started writing some articles and that sort of thing, but I had not started writing books yet. When 9/11 happened, I thought I needed to join the military, actually. A lot of people don't know that, but I went down to the recruiter and talked to the recruiter about going back into the military, which was a crazy thing for a father of 5 to do. But I, like many people, just felt like I needed to do something to help the war effort. And it's interesting to see how God worked it out so that I could do something to help the war effort. And at the same time, feel like I was able to stay home enough with my kids and be there when they needed me. On 9/11, though, I was on my farm in Maryland. We had a little 25-acre farm, and I remember hearing on the news, on the radio, which I used to listen to every morning when I woke up, that a plane had hit the towers, hit the tower, south tower of the World Trade Center in New York. And so I went downstairs and turned on the television. I thought, what kind of idiot would not be able to miss this tower? I didn't realize it was a terror attack, but I turned on the TV just in time to see the second plane go into the tower, and then everybody knew, of course. It was an eerie feeling. It was a sinking feeling. We knew our lives were changing forever. We knew nothing would ever be the same again after that. And the market was closed that day, so I didn't even go to work. I just stayed home and did some projects around the house. I remember walking down to the pond that we had, down below our house, and it would be so silent, and then we would hear fighter jets going over because we were on the outskirts of Washington, D.C., and these fighter jets were patrolling the Washington, D.C. area. They were the only planes in the sky for the rest of the day, and nobody knew what was going to happen. As I look back, though, it's easy to see that God was in control. It's easy to see that He had a plan throughout all that, and it's easier now to trust Him when things go drastically wrong. That said, it's pretty disheartening to see what this administration has done in Afghanistan. 20 years ago, the Taliban was in control of Afghanistan. They were harboring other terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda. And today, the Taliban is in control of Afghanistan, and they are harboring terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda, like ISIS-K, and others. If you remember, George Bush said after the attacks that we will consider anybody who harbors terrorists to be terrorists. We won't make a distinction between those two groups. But that's exactly what the Biden administration is doing now. They're making a distinction between terror groups. And those who give them a place to grow and to train and to plan. And you can bet that there will be more terror attacks coming out of that region because we abdicated our space there and made a huge vacuum. We made this huge vacuum there now. So that's really unfortunate. And the administration talks about having an over-the-horizon capability so that they can, bomb people from afar, just lob missiles at them. But in reality, that's going to be very difficult to do when you don't have the intelligence on the ground that we just gave up. So it's kind of irrelevant that we have, the ability to lob bombs at Afghanistan if we don't know what needs to be bombed. So we're going to talk about that more. I'm getting back into the saddle now after my sort of vacation in Alaska. Had a really good time up there. Stay tuned for some really good footage from that. And thanks for watching Hot Zone.